The Extreme BPM Tuesdays and Fridays, 8 p.m. East African time. So that is Tuesdays and Fridays, 8 p.m. East African time. That's when we get to talk to people that make the music. So anytime between actually not anytime, Tuesdays and Fridays, 8 p.m. East African time, that's when we get to talk to people that make the music. So then Monday through Friday, we have the E-Jazz Mix. That's when we play more of the music and do less of the talking. So it's mostly the music. You get to enjoy music from amazing artists from across the world, not limited by genre or anything like that. That is on the E-Jazz Mix, and that's Monday through Friday. So today on the show, I have an amazing guest. From her TV debut at just 8 years old, to sharing the stage with the Boston Pops gospel choir, and then to chasing her dream at Berklee, College of Music, and making amazing music too. She's a vocalist, songwriter, and producer, and also an educator, and with a sound of her own, which is very important to note, okay? Yeah. And she's here to share her incredible journey. And Dawn, welcome to the show. Her name is Dawn Zapata. She's on the show today. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm well, Mark. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored to be here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
I'm doing well. Yeah. Can't complain.
Which is good.
I'm on your show, which is great.
It's great having you on. And I've been looking forward to this. We said we planned this, and I've been looking forward to us having the conversation. And especially when I found out that you were making your TV debut at 8 years old. I don't know what I was doing at 8 years old. I can't remember then. But you were on TV at 8 years old. What do you remember about that experience?
It's funny because that particular experience was it was a lip sync. So I wasn't even singing. It was crazy. So it was, I remember begging my father to take me to an audition downtown in Denver, Colorado. So he did. And I actually didn't get the audition. It was for a show called Denver's Kids. And so it was a bunch of just young folks dancing to their favorite songs on TV, which was a huge thing at the age, right? I'm 8 years old. Of course, I came back crying, devastated. Life was over at 8. And my father said, well, just give it a week. Maybe something will happen. And what was nuts was that a week later they called. And they said, well, we didn't accept you at the time because someone had just done your same song, which was Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody. But they called me in. They said, you're fabulous. Let's have you on stage. You have a lot of charisma. Maybe that hasn't changed. I don't know. I'm a talker. So they brought me in, full stage setup, cameras, lights, action. I did it. And I've never kind of looked back. I fell in love with entertainment at that, point in my life and kind of never went back. But it's a lot of weird life things that happened since then. But that was kind of my first love and the first time I got to do something within the entertainment industry, which was great.
Yep, amazing.
It was fabulous.
And 8 years old. So then, how do you when you have that TV experience, and then talk to me about how later on you started molding yourself as a musician and picking on that interest into music though.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of dance, took dance lessons, involved myself in theater and such in school, but it wasn't until probably age 14. It was kind of by accident. I remember one of the teachers at my choir, they came up with an assignment for all of us to sing solo. And I'd never sang in public to that point, really outside of a choir. And so for some reason, and it wasn't even a popular song at the time, but I knew my mom loved Cher. So I started practicing a song called Just Like Jesse James, not a popular one for Cher. And so I sang it, and I remember being terrified. It was, in front of 30 of my, the other students there, and they're all staring at you. And nobody's saying a word, and I'm singing it, and I finish, and I don't know what's happening. Nobody's talking, and even the teacher isn't talking. And I said, what is going on here? Why? Is something happening to my outfit? Have I made a big mistake here? And so finally everyone started clapping, and I was like, okay, life's okay. And then
Yeah.
my teacher was like, you have a phenomenal voice, which was so kind at the time because I'm 14. I've never had lessons, but it was from there that I was like, okay, well, singing's my thing then. And I really fell in love with it. So I've kind of in and out of my career. I've done a lot musically. Hasn't been my pure focus, which is crazy. But it's definitely, my greatest passion. But I did tell you a little bit about Berklee. After that point, of course, I joined every musical thing I possibly could. I sang all of the national anthems at school. I did all of these different performances, choir. And during one of those events, my friend's uncle actually saw me sing, and he had never heard me sing before. And he actually invited us to an amazing opportunity, which was to sing the halftime show at an NBA game in Denver. So I got to do that, which was amazing. It was 16,000 people. And so that was my first big opportunity to sing in front of that many people. And I just remember afterwards, my friends giving me so much crap because I was sitting next to Dikembe Mutombo, ringside, or courtside, not ringside, courtside seats, which are thousands of dollars, right? And I'm like, oh, this game's kind of boring. Maybe it's time to go, which was terrible. I should have stayed and watched the game because I'll never get that close again. Or maybe I will. You never know. But he was a superstar. What was I doing? I didn't even get an autograph. So kind of a disappointing opportunity, but I loved being able to sing in front of that many people. It was so inspiring. It was really a lot of fun. So that got me through high school. I've gotten to sing at Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado, so did a lot in Colorado. And then it came time for Berklee. I was 19. I auditioned for Berklee, which was a dream come true. It's one of the best music schools in the world. And I remember at that point, I was in kind of a difficult situation. I was actually homeless, living with a friend of a family. Wasn't really close to my parents because of, hard childhood. So my entire choir, which was a beautiful thing, there were 100 kids in this choir. They all got their money together and they all supported me to go to the audition in California, which again, I was still in Denver. So it was a flight, not money I had. They all got together to get me on that plane ride. And the pressure was tremendous, right? Because now I've got everybody's money on this plane ride. I've spent everybody's cash to get there.
You can't repeat what happened when you are seated courtside.
Exactly. That's true. Really a wasted opportunity there. So I got to the Berklee audition. And of course, they're the world's best singers there. They have you sing the song that you want to sing. And so I did that. And they loved it. The judges loved it. And then, of course, they had me do some training stuff, and I got nervous, and I missed the full ride scholarship. It would have been $100,000 by 3 notes. I was so mad at myself. So I almost made, and without that full ride, I couldn't afford Berklee. It wasn't going to happen. And so my life took a different turn. I ended up getting my second dream. So that was okay. I ended up, doing something with education, which I love. I love my students. In fact, they'll see this and they'll be like, what do you mean you have this whole other life? So I'm a professor now.
Oh, congratulations.
Which is crazy. So I got to do my second dream in life. Not so bad, right?
No. Not so bad for a professor. Imagine that.
Yeah. It's not bad, yeah. So I hope they'll be proud of me that I'm still pursuing something I really love. But and years later, I came back to it. I got into Berklee. So I'm in Berklee now, learning more production stuff, but I still sing. But yeah, I was telling you earlier that I've fallen hard for it again. I'm back in music, 100%. And but now I'm learning all of the back end stuff I never knew about the audio engineering stuff, the production stuff. That stuff's really hard.
Yep.
So kudos to all my fellow musicians that also do that side. It's a tough side. It's not easy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a tough sport, and it takes a lot of practice and years
Yeah.
and years of investment of work and time.
It does. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Any little button could be off just a smidge and the whole production's messed up. So it's a tough job for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing. So you are a professor of?
I'm a professor of computer science, believe it or not. Information technology, computer science. So that side of the
Amazing.
world, I know, which is, yeah, totally different. But, I love that too. Love that too.
So how did with apart from the music side, were you also into? Was that also a journey you were pursuing as alongside, try? I know music was the first thing that you wanted to do, but was in computer science something that you were also trying to pursue?
Something I was definitely interested in. Not a direct pursuit, education for sure, but I thought I'd go into like political science or law. And then I did a little test run and I went into law and I was like, no, not for me. Just not the way I want to go, but I still want to go into education. Which is funny because I was also teaching music like personally, but not professionally. And so it just happened that I started doing some kind of, I'd say, nonprofit work at first that led me into IT, into that field. And I've been in that field for years now. I also do like live event production, so I know that production end. I have a lot of hats. I love keeping busy, Mark.
Yeah.
I got to stay busy. So yeah, I initially went to school thinking I would go to law, but just sometimes you figure out something's not a great fit and just wasn't my calling.
Yeah.
So
And, eh,
being a professor is awesome though.
yeah, but good thing is you're back to music. You're back to music, and you're back to doing what you want to do, and you're doing it on your own terms. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the industry has changed so much. And in fact, I was offered a contract when I was younger. And I ended up turning it down because it was primarily Spanish music and it's not what I wanted to do at the time. So this was before Berklee, before the opportunity to audition for Berklee. And so I just kept it on kind of the side for a while. But really, the industry's changed so much. And now, because of the technology side of what I know, AI is changing music so much.
yeah,
So it's just a really different ballgame. But I love the opportunities that independent artists have, but they're being challenged, right? It's getting harder and harder to play in the space where AI is becoming a tool. And it is a tool, but it's not the only tool.
yeah.
So it's just changing the world. But I mean, the industry, it's not easy, but there are opportunities there. So I'm staying positive.
Yeah,
Which is,
absolutely.
it's all about music. So that's what matters.
Yeah, at the end of the, I know there's a kind of like I've seen a lot of takes on AI and how it is creating trouble for musicians, especially people that are creating a whole different profile up on streaming platforms, and then this, there are streaming farms, and there are these other things that come along, and then they end up like appearing like it's something that is actually working or very popular right now, yet it's actually not. It's something that is pushed by a streaming farm or any of that. I think it's everyone is trying now to clean up, because I've seen with Spotify they're trying to, clean up some quote unquote fake streams, and then
Yeah.
you wonder why did they start now, and you have an independent artist now saying, I'm going to have to put music where people can access it directly, and I'm able to profit from directly, because there are platforms like Bandcamp which
Yeah.
actually enables you to be able to sell and take a bigger chunk of your of the money that is made from the music. And yeah, I know I think as time goes by things settle down a bit, because AI, using AI has been in the music business with autotune and all that,
Right.
but it's kind of like
Hmm.
crazy at the moment. It's a bit of it's it's a bit too much now. Even when I'm receiving songs, sometimes I want someone to indicate that so that I know what I'm getting into. If you used AI to
Yeah.
make the song and there is no musician, probably you shouldn't take the opportunity for someone who is an actual musician who is actually making the song, and we are an independent platform that is trying to help independent artists. So I think we should create that space for
Yeah.
them. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I agree.
it's a bit of
Yeah.
a push and pull, but amazing things happen too before you became a professor and all that. You earned a spot at the Boston Pops Gospel Choir.
I did. That was actually by accident as well. So, all of my life is happy accidents, happy accidents.
Yeah.
I was out at a karaoke bar singing with my friends, something I love to do. It was a great Chinese food place at karaoke. We were there all the time. And out of the blue, a friend of a friend decides to join, comes in, and, is appreciative of what I'd sang there. And he said to me, I'm a member of the Pops Gospel Choir. And I said, well, that's fantastic. That's amazing. Tell me all about it. And then I guess they had 3 openings, and you only get an audition if a current member recommends you. So he recommended me, which I thought was very kind of him. That was amazing. And so I went down to this old church not far from Berklee in Boston. I had moved there at the time to go to graduate school. And, there were phenomenal singers there. Just, oh my gosh, women and men that were just amazing voices. I'd never heard such amazing voices, and power, just really great power. And so I got up, I did what I do, and I sang the song, and I didn't hear back for a little bit. And so I was terrified because that would have been an amazing opportunity. And I was already thinking, I didn't get this, I didn't get it. And he ended up calling me up and said, they loved you, you're in. So that was incredible. I got to sing with them for 3 years, a lot of rehearsals, intense rehearsals, just physically demanding, because you've got to sing at the top of your voice with all the power that you absolutely have. And working with the Pops is incredible because they're such an incredible orchestra. They don't need much time to learn anything. They're so great. So they'll come in for an hour's rehearsal, do what they got to do, and then they're ready. And we got to sing in Symphony Hall, which is amazing, but you hear all of those voices. I think the choir was maybe 150 people at the time, but you hear all of that with 150 people singing at the top of their voices with all the strength they have, echoing in Symphony Hall. It was amazing, just an absolutely amazing experience. So yeah, I got to do that for 3 years, and just really incredible, awe-inspiring. And gosh, something I'd love to do again, to be quite honest, which is really incredible.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it comes back around. I'm in Illinois now, so it's a little far to commute, but one day.
One day.
One day. So
Yeah, that's
one day.
it's amazing. I'm imagining, yeah, because I always see those choirs when you have like 150 people and you're all going at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't hear yourself. That's the crazy thing is, and I don't know if folks realize that haven't been in choirs, but when you have powerful singers next to you, you're nothing. And you're just trusting that your throat is not doing what it's doing now, getting a little hoarse. You're trusting that it's going at full power and that it sounds good and it doesn't sound awful, but you can't hear yourself at all. It's trusting the moment, which is, it's crazy, but that's what it is essentially.
Yeah, and speaking of powerful voices, the talent that is in the church that is usually found in the choirs,
Yes.
a
Yes.
whole different
And that's
thing.
really the kind of music I love. The R&B gospel. That's my favorite for sure.
Oh, which is
And I
amazing.
hope that kind of makes it out in this song. I'm hoping.
Yeah, which is amazing. I just had a gospel duo, husband and wife. They do gospel contemporary R&B. So again, and it's gospel. So and
Yeah.
yeah, they're amazing at it. They do it, and you listen to it, and you're like, this just sounds like any other, what is on the mainstream that is in the secular music category.
Hmm.
Even when I was listening to it, I was like, hold on, but it sounds like what is in the mainstream, but it's actually the message is different.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah, gospel music's changing a little bit, isn't it? It's evolving in some ways. There's a lot of different artists out there right now. I was just watching a live, and I'm forgetting Brandon Lake. That was it. He sings completely different than the kind of gospel R&B Christian music I grew up with. Um, but I don't know if he's considered purely R&B, but he brings a little fire to contemporary Christian, which is interesting. But yeah, gospel music, I mean, there are so many crossovers, right, between gospel, R&B, jazz,
yeah,
that are just really phenomenal. Stuff I really like tune into. That's where my heart's at,
yeah, and I like that they don't
for
limit
sure.
themselves. So it's just become CCM, so contemporary Christian music. It's just that. So
Yeah,
you can blend
yeah,
in, different influences and and put
right,
something out without,
right.
boxing yourself up into something, which is amazing. So
Yeah.
you do everything yourself. So can you take me through the process of, let's say, when you're creating, what is a typical session for you? I know they are not always the same depending on how you get influenced to make a song or to make a project, but take me through a typical session of yours.
Yeah.
How would it look like?
Yeah, you're right. It does vary a little bit. I know some songwriters have kind of their process. Sometimes I'm sitting at the piano, I'm playing a couple notes, and if something sounds like it's going to be a melody or it feels like home to me, like it
Yeah.
has that home feeling, that comfortable feeling, that relatable feeling, I'll start working on that. Other times I'll be at my computer, I'll be playing around with the drum machine, kind of making some beats, something feel good. I'll start going that way and add the melody later. But usually I challenge myself. And for the first song I did, the last note is my first song. I sat down and I said to myself, I want to write a love song, but I don't want it to be, it's not your typically happy love song. I want it to be sort of this longing piece, but I want it to be about music. And so I decided to write the last note, which really is just I'm singing to music. I'm singing to melody. I'm singing to rhythm. But in a sense, I'm also talking about loss. So it's kind of got two sides to it. But I really wanted this kind of longing, desperate sound. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to create with the vocal piece. But it really was a challenge to myself to sing a love song, but to music. And then this last song, actually, it's kind of crazy. It came from a couple of different influences. I was just thinking back on my life, and some old friend in particular popped up, and I think I saw their kind of Facebook post, and they're happy, and they've got kids, and their life is great. And I thought, well, that's really tremendous for them. We're not really in contact anymore, but really happy for that person. And so that kind of spun around in my mind. And then I thought about the songs we used to sing as kids, and we did a lot of Billy Joel in the high school choirs that I was in. I don't know why, it just kind of happened that way. So this song is actually kind of my version without any copyright infringement. I even checked with the lawyer to make sure I was good. So didn't copy anything specific. In fact, the tempos are different, the keys are different, everything's different. But the feel, I wanted it to feel a little bit like Piano Man. And I don't know if that comes through or not. So
No,
maybe, after
you can feel like when I listen to it the first time I actually got it. When I listened to it, I feel like it's
uh-huh.
something. It kind of like wants to remind me of something, but I still couldn't put a finger on
Yes,
it, and I'm like, okay, let me check again and see.
I had to stay safe. I couldn't break the copyrights, so
Yeah,
I had to be very careful.
yeah,
So I know that like Ozzy Osbourne has done that with I want to say it was a Led Zeppelin song, but I'm not sure. But like other artists will take kind of like, oh, well, this song meant so much to me, but here would be like a continuing story like if I had to make a version 2 or a sequel.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did. I used everything completely different, but I wanted it to feel a little bit like that. And so there's that point in the middle of the song where there's the bridge and then it just stops and the tempo changes. And so I wanted that part especially to reflect back on how those kind of melodic songs of the 1980s, Elton John, Billy Joel, kind of captured your attention in that way. And bridges kind of seemed to disappear from modern music, so I brought it back.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be there.
Yeah. We don't have many.
I hope that comes across.
Yeah, songs are like now shorter. We don't have like, there's no space for putting bridges. They keep like shrinking in terms of the duration of the song. And yeah.
So what happened to the bridge? The bridge is beautiful.
Yeah, the bridge,
I love a good bridge.
Yeah, and but I think what I'm loving though is that comes with the pressure with people who are mostly in the mainstream. Most of the songs that I've been receiving, I always will find something in there where someone actually has the bridge in it, and it always sounds different. It always sounds, there's a pre-chorus, there's a chorus, and you're like, you have either they'll make a bridge that is just the instruments, that's it,
right,
and
right,
and it's so amazing to see, and glad that people are still doing that. Yeah.
You know what I would love to do that I don't have the talent for, to be quite honest? Guitar solo. I miss guitar solos so much. A good guitar solo would be amazing. Like I tried on this song with like a harmonica, which wasn't going to work. It just sounded terrible. But I would have loved to like incorporate a guitar solo. And I have a cousin who's a guitarist, so I should probably bring him in to help me out a little bit. But yeah, I feel like if that could just come back. And it's funny because I also teach music now on the side, like to stay busy. And a lot of my students who are like 14, 15 years old, they come back learning, like wanting to sing like Eddie Vedder, or, they love kind of grunge 90s music. So I thought, oh, you guys don't even know the half of it. That was the good stuff. So I don't know. I think that's going to have a resurgence. Yeah. It's going to come back.
Yeah. No, it's I love the young some of the young artists musicians I've been getting also recently. There's a young musician in Norway. She's I think she's like 17 now. She loves 60s music, and all her music almost sounds like that. And she can belt.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
She's so amazing. And she's just like, I think 17. I think she's 17.
Oh. She's at the right age. I hope she keeps going. Like, don't stop. That's incredible.
Oh, she's and what is amazing is that the parents have made sure they put her with great musicians. So the mother writes with her in terms of the lyrics and all that, and but they get proper production and have real musicians playing instruments in her songs. I'll send you a link for that. But she's very amazing. And even when I interviewed her, she was like into that. She's like, telling me about musicians from the 60s and talking about that. And I'm like, you just, when I interviewed her, she was 15. I'm like, you're just 15 at the time.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Oh, and that's this cool era of music. That's just so much like the raw talent that came out of the 60s. And they didn't have all the production tricks or the AI that we have now, right? And they just went in and did it. I mean, it's just, wow. And I love music that, where there is some rough production.
Yes.
Like, there's, a little bit too much gain there. Oh, something happened there. Like, it just sounds real, like you're in the room. Like, that's just incredible. Yeah. Or it's so exciting to hear that that's coming back.
Yeah, or someone is playing and somewhere something wasn't perfectly aligned, and you were like, "Yep,
yes,
yeah, something there," and you don't need to correct it, leave it.
Yeah, and as someone who does their own production, and I'm still very much learning. I've only been doing production for a year and a half. Like I'm still, thank God I'm taking classes in it. But I play my music for other people before I release it, and I say, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And they say, leave it.
Leave it.
Because it's never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, go ahead and show growth over years, but get your stuff out there. Just get the music out there. So perfect or not, it's out there.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
always.
doing.
Yeah, and that's something that they were you leave it there. Sometimes people like something that wasn't intended to be in the song, and they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
I like that part, and they're like, yo, it was even a mistake. I wasn't intending to have it. Like that's what I like about the song. You could have removed that.
Yeah.
So I think it takes away the part of. Especially the people that incorporate instruments into the music, so it's like you will never play it perfectly every time.
Right.
So because
Right.
it's you
Maybe
playing
I
it,
should have left
right?
the harmonica in. It was really terrible, though. I'm not sure I should have. I think I made the right choice.
You might be you might be surprised. Yeah. I mean, you had successful musicians have like something so big and they're like, I hate it. I don't even want to hear anyone play that song
Yeah.
next to me. And it's so big.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Well, my husband and I were talking about Guns N' Roses the other day. I love all music, so
Yeah.
we talk about everything. But he was saying how like Slash was just practicing on his guitar when they made Sweet Child of Mine, and Axl Rose was in the bathroom
Yeah.
listening to him practice, and he just wrote down some lyrics on a napkin, and there you go, world hit.
Yeah.
It just happenstance. Strange things happen in music.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think that comes. You see, it's also like how people keep busy and when they are actually producing, not. I think it's different when people are mostly like not playing instruments and they're you know everything you're plotting everything, so it has to be perfect because the computer helps you do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
So, but that's
yeah,
why I
yeah,
like that's even why I enjoy doing the show because I there are so many great musicians that I already the reason even why I enjoy doing the E Just Make Show, which is where I get to play more of the music and don't even have to talk at all. It's that I get to have people that have done music for 30, 40 years and have played
yeah.
instruments and they are
That's
still
incredible.
putting out songs and you can feel it. You can feel the difference between what they're doing and what
Yeah.
someone but when I also see young people like her name is Matilda Wedding from Norway. When you see her like go in there and they have instruments playing and then she's singing and then I think at some point somehow people think that oh no maybe there's auto tune in there and then she just gets the video and just sings live and just puts it out there and then says can you
Wow.
tell the difference between the song and me actually singing it in front of the
Yeah.
camera, not even
Yeah.
using a microphone. Yeah, so it's
That's
like
incredible.
that's
That's
their
incredible.
yeah, but it's amazing. Even you look at how you come from choir, come from singing, and then you have the choir, and then when you're bringing that, you're trying to create something that you've always what that influenced you earlier on into joining the music, and then you want to create your own version of it. For example, like the song that we just played, that melody.
Yes. Yeah, choir helped me on that song because I have to sing all the parts myself, everything, again, just me. So I got to bring some other people in. It's just easier, but it's just me so far. But I had to do 6 different voice parts on that, which was not easy to mix yourself and to hear yourself and kind of try to find the harmony that you need to be on, especially like when you're getting out to the like gentleman ranges. So I had to sing 2 tenor parts, which is harder for a female to do, but I wanted that fullness there. And so my next step, as a producer is to learn more about the stereo spread and to make those bigger and wider and just even crazier because I love choral and gospel. So that's a huge influence, I think, and will continue to be. And in fact, with that melody, surprise, surprise, I have a second version coming
Yes.
out, which is exciting, and it's definitely a different feel. I used some similar elements. The song is the same, changed a couple of things up, but it's more gospel, more R&B focused. So I hope that'll be a lot of fun. But I loved it so much, and I just made it in 2 different directions. And I was like, I can't decide. I'm just going to throw them both out there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. So that'll be coming up soon.
That won't be the only thing, though. You're also making a video for that.
Yes, and the music video will come out. I don't have the exact date on that one, but I'm thinking early September. So there'll be 2 more pieces, second version and the video coming out for that melody very soon.
Yeah.
And that melody, the second version, should be out on the 23rd. So really excited by that.
Yeah. So if you're listening, by the time you're hearing this, that melody, the second version for that is out, so you can be able to check it on all streaming platforms. But we shall be playing
Yes.
that on the show here too, as we get to wrap up the interview. So, as an educator, though, let's say, what is the most rewarding thing for you, especially like if there's the computer science part, and then there's now as when you're doing music, educating,
Yeah.
the music class. What is the most rewarding thing for you?
By far, I probably get from my students more than they get from me. Although I hope they're learning something from me, because that's what my job is.
Yeah.
But by far, I mean, I hope so, right? They're paying good money. I I get to see people's dreams come true, and I get to be a small part of that, and I get to encourage and help them discover their own talents, which is incredible, whether it be music or in the IT computer science world. I get to help them get a little bit closer to where they see themselves ultimately finding success. And just to be a part of that journey, one, is a complete honor. But it blows me away because I truly love just being there for them, to elevate them, to celebrate them. And sometimes one of the things I make my students do is to join me on like LinkedIn or social media. And I know in the moment they hate me for it because it's like an assignment, it's annoying, but it's really cool because I get to see them in like 5 years and they've achieved that dream job, and I get to celebrate them there. And just to watch that is awesome. And I think they find value in me having them do that assignment too. But I do that with almost everybody I come across, just to remain connected to their lives in that way. So yeah, for me, it's just watching them achieve their own greatness, which is fantastic. It's really rewarding. And I bet a lot of other educators feel that way. I really do.
Yeah, yeah,
Just,
it's amazing.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's amazing when you see
yeah,
someone
it
come in
is.
and then you're able to teach them something, and then you see them doing that. I think I get the same feeling like when I've had people like do internship with me before, like for media and radio presentation or production and all that, and then I see them like get do like, I think it's amazing. There are like two students who are doing the same show in the morning, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And they're on also a mainstream channel, and they are doing that in the morning, and I'm like, yeah, that's I don't even want to take credit. I don't want even to be part of the story. I just want to enjoy from a distance. I'm happy for you. That's it. Sometimes when they try to measure, I'm like, nah, I don't need to. I'm happy where you are. Enjoy it. That's what
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that. You know, and
Well, you're helping me achieve my dreams here, Mark.
and you
Honestly.
and you and you help.
So it's not just your interns, it's everybody you have on the show. Really. It really is. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No,
I
thank
really
you.
feel honored that you'd have me here.
No, thank you. And
Absolutely.
and speaking of that, still, you believe it's never too late to just some of the things that you desire to do in life, like how you thought the music part had slipped out and you still went a different path, and great in that career. You're a whole professor, so that's amazing. That's the amazing part. And then created a path back to music, and still we are on the show now talking about music and talking about something that you've done and produced yourself, and you've participated in bringing to life. What would you say to someone who feels like they probably missed their mark in life and they can't probably go back and achieve that?
If you've still got the honor of breathing and being here on the planet, there's no such thing as too late. Maybe you're the oldest person in the room. And sometimes at Berklee, we have yearly events. I am the oldest person in the room, and that's okay with me, because I'm still a very serious musician. And, even though those in the room are younger than me, they take me as a serious musician. And if it's something you love, you're you're healthy and you're happy and you've achieved some really great things in your life, but there's still something out there that you've always wanted to do, just do it. Like, don't hold yourself back. Sometimes you're your worst enemy. And, there are a million excuses. And I think I posted that a few weeks ago on my social media when I first started this journey by saying, I have lied to myself so many times about why I can't do this. I don't have enough money, this, that. But in all honesty, like, you just step forward one day and you keep taking the steps. And I heard something fantastic the other day. I want to say, like, Matt Damon said it. I can't recall who said it, but some big star. And they said, you'll have success if you don't give up. Like, you just have to keep moving forward. Eventually, you're going to hit that wall of success. It's going to be there. And it may look different from one person to another. But if it really fulfills you and it's what you love and what you want to do, there's no such, there's age is a number. Time marches forward, sure, and maybe you have some time behind you, but that doesn't mean you give up on what you love. And if it's something you love, go get it. Just do it. And that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm here.
Absolutely. So in this journey, doing something that you loved first, that you thought you would do if you are going to even get into earlier on, what has been probably your proudest moment?
To have a dream at 19 to go to a certain university makes sense. That's, everybody's used to that kind of pathway. Okay, this is your next step in education. You're going to go for your dream, go. But to be my age and to look back at that same dream I had when I was 19 to try to achieve that, that's a very proud moment for me. And in fact, it's funny because when I opened the acceptance letter to get back into Berklee, my daughter recorded me and I'm just crying. I haven't been brave enough to post it on social media, but maybe I will. But I'm just crying a bunch of tears because that's what that meant to me. And to be able to have that second chance to do something I really, really, really wanted, and to even have it all these years later, it doesn't matter that time has passed. My heart is still the same. And that's still something I really wanted. And I felt so blessed and honored when I opened that letter and it said, you got it. And that was incredible to me. So for me, returning to this musical journey, by far, probably that, to be able to take those steps again, the steps that I know I wanted to take at 19 that would get me to where I want to be. And I do. I really want to be good at what I do and the music I create. And I want people to connect to it and enjoy it and to reminisce on their own lives, to feel their own feelings of joy, sorrow, connectedness, just to other human beings. But yeah, that by far I think was a long-winded answer, but I got back there. Probably Berklee.
That's amazing, and it's interesting that it's almost the same story as another interview I had a month ago, I think, and
Oh.
yeah, there's a lady from Germany, but she comes from she's from Latvia, but then she, in her teenage years, they lived in Germany and no, in Italy actually, and then she thought she would do musical theater, and then at 20, it was tough to get things working, and then also to make a living, and then to survive, and all that. She gave up the dream and then went into business, did fashion and did those things, and now in her 40s, because she says this, in her 40s, she decided, with the husband bought her a piano on one of her birthdays, I think towards 40s, and she's like, yeah, you had this dream, and why don't you go back to it? and then she went back to it. And now the interesting part is the daughter is also interested in music, and then they finally performed together, I think end of July, around there. On the first show
That's so great.
she staged, and she was saying that, it's so, the most proudest moment is that she wanted to do this, she never had the support at her teenage years, and
Yeah.
now that the daughter shows the same passion, she will do anything to make sure that the daughter, if that's what she wants to do, since she's a teenager, she's I think around
Yep.
15 or 16, go ahead, do it, and she'll be able to support. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like almost the similar story, and how proud you
Yeah.
are that finally the same place that didn't work out when you're 19, finally you're able to get your
Yeah.
acceptance letter and go in there and then study and then create your own project. There's new music out, and
Mm-hmm.
here you are on the journey.
You fall in love with something and you'll love it your whole life. Like love doesn't go away, you know? You love what you loved when you were younger and just doesn't automatically disappear if you don't get to do it. It stays there. So that's awesome to hear about her being able to do that. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
Wow,
Wow.
it's amazing. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
amazing. It's very
Really
great,
nice.
great to see, and I'm happy like to have those, to bring those stories, because I know there are many people out there probably who thought they missed their mark and they can't go back to it, and it's something they've always wanted to do. So that's why I always love having people on share their stories, because you never know whose life it will change, and you know.
Yeah.
So
Like I said, you're a dream maker, sir. You really are.
I'm just here
I
because
stick by that.
I'll take that, thank you. But I love doing this and love sharing the stories, and if I can help someone out there, of the stories that are shared on the program can be able to help someone out there, that's the satisfaction I get, and
That's
I'm
awesome.
happy about it. So
Awesome. I'm glad you do what you do.
yeah, thank you. So the song that is out, guys, that we played, that has a version, the second version, which we shall play at the end of the show, is That Melody, coming in from Don Zapata. For people that want to connect with you, where would you send them in terms of your socials and website?
All of my socials are Dawn Zapata Music, and my website is dawnzapata.com.
Absolutely.
So,
So go to the website, you'll be
yeah.
able to get the links to everything else that you would like to
Absolutely.
connect with.
Yep.
Yeah. And the Extreme BPM guys, Tuesdays and Fridays. This is what we get to do, talk to people that make the music. But I always implore you to join us on the E Just Make Sure, because we play most of the music and always provide an entire playlist of what we just played on our socials. So you'll be able to go and check out that music, add it to your playlist, and follow those musicians too. And following them, adding to the playlist, streaming doesn't cost you a thing. Okay, it's all that doesn't cost you a thing, but it's very important. And it supports what they do. So go ahead and do that. Until next time, this has been the Extreme BPM. Until when I have the next guest on the show, I have absolutely nothing left, but we shall play the second version, which is the R&B version, more gospel version, as described by Don Zapata, for the song That Melody. And that's how we are wrapping up the show today on the Extreme BPM.